What is an Indian psychology?
You have to come closer. I can't hear you. Louder, please.
What is an Indian psychology?
Indian psychology is the study of human behavior and the mental processes rooted in the philosophical and spiritual traditions of India. It emphasizes self awareness, consciousness, inner transformation, and the role of spiritual practices like meditation, yoga, and mindfulness in mental health. Next question.
Mention any two sources of Indian psychology.
We all know Vedas and Upanishads are a very prime source, and another one is Yoga and Ayurveda. So, talking about Vedas and Upanishads, they provide foundational philosophical insights into consciousness and the self, while Yoga and Ayurveda offer practical physiological techniques for mental balance and health.
What is the concept of self in Indian psychology?
In Indian psychology, the self or the Atman is seen as pure consciousness, eternal and beyond the ego or the I factor, the ahankar. It is distinct from the body and mind, and realizing the true self is considered the goal of psychological and spiritual development.
How is yoga relevant to Indian psychology?
Yoga is both a theory and method in Indian psychology. It offers practices like asana, pranayama, and dhyana or meditation to purify the mind, enhance the concentration, and attain self realization, aligning closely with psychological well being.
Define Triguna theory.
Triguna theory, it explains personality based on three qualities, that is sattva guna, rajas and tamas. Sattva guna is basically purity and harmony, while rajas is more of activity and passion, while tamas is inertia and or ignorance. Okay, so these gunas influence the thoughts, emotions and behavior.
Discuss the basic assumption and principles of Indian psychology.
Indian psychology is rooted in Indian philosophical systems like Vedanta, Yoga, and Buddhism. Its core assumptions include primacy of consciousness, that is, the consciousness which is fundamental, not just a product of the brain. Then we have inner transformation, that is, the true change happens through self discipline and awareness. Then self as the central, that is, self or Atman is not the ego but the unchanging observer. Then the holistic approach, that is, integration of body, mind, and spirit, is essential for well being. And the spiritual goals, that is, psychological growth, includes moral, spiritual, and emotional development. So, Indian psychology focuses not just on the pathology but on self realization and liberation or moksha through introspection, ethical living, and meditation.
Elaborate on the role of yoga and meditation in mental health from an Indian psychological perspective.
Yoga and meditation are core components of Indian psychology with powerful therapeutic applications. Yoga improves physical health, enhances emotional regulation, and it calms the mind. It promotes equanimity or samatva, and strengthens the willpower. Meditation or dhyana, it enhances concentration, reduces the stress, and fosters insights into the self. Now, practices like pranayama or the breath control, it regulates the nervous system and are effective in treating anxiety and depression. Mindfulness, though popularized by Western psychology, has roots in Indian traditions such as Vipassana and Patanjali Yoga. So, these techniques offer self regulation, promote resilience, and foster deep psychological insight, aligning with both preventive and curative goals of mental health care.
Compare Indian psychology with Western psychology.
Yeah, how can we compare? See, then in Indian psychology, basically the origin. it's rooted in the spiritual philosophical traditions, that is Vedas and yoga, while Western psychology is based on empirical experimental sciences, the origin. Okay. Now coming to the focus, Indian psychology focuses on the inner consciousness, the self realization, while Western psychology focuses on behavior, the cognition, brain processes, etc. Now, the concept of self in Indian psychology is basically eternal, spiritual or self or Atman, while Western psychology, the concept of self is psychological ego or identity. Now, coming to goal, Indian psychology, the goal of Indian psychology is liberation or moksha, mukti, inner peace. While Western psychology, mein, adaptation, the functionality, symptom reduction is the goal. What are the methods in Indian psychology? We have meditation, we have yoga, we have ethical disciplines. While Western psychology, maybe we have therapy, behavior modification, and pharmacology in Western psychology. Okay, methods. Now, in Indian psychology, the view of mind as part of nature or prakriti to be transcended. While in Western psychology, the view of mind is center of mental functions. Okay, so despite differences, there's growing integration, especially in fields like transpersonal psychology, mindfulness-based therapy, and positive psychology. What is the significance of Bhagavad Gita in Indian psychology?
What is the significance of Bhagavad Gita in Indian psychology?
The Bhagavad Gita is a foundational text in Indian psychology, offering insights into cognitive restructuring, okay, selfless action or karma yoga, emotion regulation, and higher self awareness. So, if we talk about cognitive restructuring, that is when Arjuna was in a dilemma and his dilemma was resolved through philosophical counseling. So, that is cognitive restructuring. Selfless action, that is karma yoga, it encourages actions without any attachment to the results. So, you do just have to do your work properly and don't expect the results to be always positive. Just you enhance, it encourages the action without attaching to the results. Okay. Emotional regulations, that is, it teaches equanimity, samanatva, detachment, and inner calm. Higher self awareness, it guides the seeker to transcend ego and identity with the higher self. The Gita's psychological relevance lies in its universal themes of duty, choice, fear, and clarity, making it
Explain the Triguna theory of personality and its application.
the Triguna theory found in Sankhya and yoga philosophies explains human personality based on three qualities: the sattva, the rajas, and tamas. Sattva is balance, purity, wisdom. It leads to calmness, clarity, and ethical behavior. While rajas, the activity, restlessness, it's associated with ambition, attachment, and emotional reactivity. Tamas, the inertia, ignorance, it leads to confusion, laziness, and resistance to change. Now, applications. Where exactly can we apply the Triguna theory of personality and its applications? In counseling, in education, in lifestyle, and in mental health, achieving mental health. Counseling, we can assess the dominant guna and can help guide interventions. And in education, sattvic traits are encouraged for optimal learning and discipline. Lifestyle may the diet, the behavior, environment can influence the guna balance. And mental health, excess tamas or rajas may relate to psychological disorders. Therapies aim to enhance the sattva guna. So, no more questions, right? So, with this, we'll end this chapter on Indian psychology and its applications.
Thank you.